Greetings, mortals. I am Natus, the ruler of the underworld. And since we finally finished the Toby Roper from Beast Pirates, it is time that we finally move on to the most important member of the Beast Pirates. The members that truly shake their core. The members that are gonna truly make the Beast Pirates some of the most known and famous villains in all One Piece. The All-Stars. And how else do we can start these amazing characters than by starting off by the man, the literal king, let's be honest with ourselves. Not the one who's named king. I'm talking literal king. That is Jack the Drought! Alright, jokes aside, does anyone else feel like it's kinda unfair the fact that Jack doesn't really seem to have it's his own volume? Like, granted, maybe I missed it. Like, the guy does technically have two arcs that have, quite a few volumes to themselves, but I don't think Jack does appear in any volume, which is odd because even Toby Ropo appeared in one volume. So it's kind of like, it's supposed to be ironic that a guy who is a part of the team called All Stars doesn't appear, even though he's one of the first. Well, he's first. Actually, okay, Kyle was name dropped, but did he appear before Jack? Well, maybe he did appear before Jack because I think those two appeared at about the same general time frame, but it's still kind of weird to think that Jack, the guy who is like the first All Star, the guy who technically amongst the All Star probably has like the most amount of screen time if you take his first appearance, then well, if you take Zoe, the beginning of Wano, like even after one, even like during the Battle of Nigashima, I wouldn't say he appears that last in the other two, maybe panel time, but it's still kind of weird how little the guy really, appear like does. But anyway, so let's start off with Jack's backstory. Now we find out that Jack unfortunately does not have much backstory or much substance to it. It's just stated in a Weaver card that I believe Jack, when he was 8 years old, was already a part of the Beast Pirates and was in Wano's. When Beast Pirates were taking over Wano and attacking Kibe, I believe, and burning the castle and all that. He was there, but he was more of an 8-year-old child, so he was an active member of the All Stars or whatever King and Queen were at that time. It's possible those two didn't even have that rank. Like, if the only. Okay, I'm not going to say that those two are like the only significant members on the Beast Pirates, but those two seem to be the oldest, while the others are more like left, right in terms of ages. Like Ulti and Page One may have joined the Beast Pirates also around the same time as Jack was at age, but the two are the two were not as active participating as Jack was. So, but fine enough, Jack does still get the shadowy, intimidating picture of him included with King and Queen. So, which is fine since at that point he was just a 8-year-old, but whatever. That's about it for Jack's backstory. And because Jack's also a fisherman, I believe a pufferfish fisherman, he was also, before he got the mammoth fruit, was able to find a road poneglyph, and is the reason why the Beast Pirates got the poneglyph they were in search for. So yeah, I kind of wonder. The funny thing is, I think we've seen Jack when he first went there, and he looked about the same as he does in the story, if not the exact same. So it kind of makes me think that Jack might have only recently got Devil Fruit, or maybe it isn't that long. I mean, again, ages in series are kind of difficult to say specifically. Sometimes characters look younger, but it could just be the outfit that makes them look younger. That other times they look the same. Like, again, ages are different, so maybe he was a bit younger, but I don't know. It seems to be implying that Jack may not have had his Devil Fruit for very long, especially with no hockey. Although to be fair, I don't even think hockey matters so much because again, Beast Pirates don't have hockey to speak of or anything because anytime you would be very using it, they don't. So it doesn't really matter that much. But yeah, anyways, after that very brief knowledge we know of Jack's backstory, I don't even think it was revealed how he joined. Probably just an orphan fishman or something like that, or maybe he was just a from like a small tribe of fishermen living somewhere out in the new world, and you just ostracize it or something. Because one thing we do learn about Jack, and is the most shown, is the fact that he kind of does kind of view Jack as his son, or there it is. He has kind of a sympathy for him because when Jack got defeated by the Ming tribes, Jack kind of is not like, Jack, you failure, you buffoon, like the way how King and Queen are towards him. It's more like, oh, don't worry, Jack. There is no way you could have defeated the entire Ming tribe in Sulong, plus Inuarashi and Nakamushi in Sulong. Like the fact that you were in your full form, I guess, because I don't think he went hybrid there, or it's not even implied he went hybrid, could have beaten these two. All of this. Like the fact that you managed to complete, like, level the numbers from what was originally intended to with all timing champs suing me, you've actually done an amazing job. Bravo, A stars. Just go back and heal. Your Mama, your Zoan should have you recover soon. So yeah, it's kind of, yeah, there's a certain level of sympathy to it. So again, I can't get the impression that the Jack, ulti page one, Yamato are kind of like brothers and sisters more directly than other members are. Again, just from the background knowledge we get and the interactions between these characters a bit. But yeah, anyways, now we get to the present story where we have where we had Jack set out to go search for Riser because Concho's a trader. He was informing everyone of what was going on. And I think this was after Conjuro got stuck in Dressrosa, but because the time I wouldn't really work otherwise, at least I don't think so. I think it's implied they've been traveling a while, so Riser was on Below for a while as well. I mean, I know there's like a 10-day fight between Jack and the Mings, but again, I feel like he probably I feel like it was probably after Conjuro was captured by Doflamingo, but regardless, guy, Jacques was sent there with I guess, a decent army of beast pirates because he had a few ships as well as two headliners, Geronimi and Sheepset. And he goes there and, wants the information. He knows they're working for them and all that jazz. And while the Mix try to play off, we don't know him. You can Jack and tell their BS and just starts rampaging. Like, let's be straight honest to ourselves, even if Jack did or even if Jack was the type of character who would be like, alright, I believe you, we'll just check, everyone go into your buildings, they will not find anything. They hit Kaiser somewhere where he cannot be found. Like, let's say if Jack was like, that giant tree there is quite massive. I wonder, could you guys did totally nothing in it, right? I believe that, like, that's where he was. Like, he was like, in the middle of that giant tree or something, right? Regardless, he would, it was a non-noticeable thing. So unless if Jack had to like question that, and then, anyways, it would have went into a fight. Like, I don't like if Jack was actually close to finding out where Riser was, or was actually had like suspicion. They would have a fight back. At that point, it wasn't going to matter if they told them or not. Honestly, we got a good thing that Jack wasn't one of those more suspicious kind of deals because then they would have won as well as now where they'd have to go look for Riser. Kind of interesting that he didn't recognize Nakamushi and Inuarashi, but consider the fact he was there. But granted, he was an 8-year-old child, and I don't believe we have ever seen like. That's the thing. Jack was a part of the Beast Powers, but I don't think we actually see him in a flashback or anything. Like I think the closest to a Jack during that time period is that drawing that Oda made. Where I don't even think Jack had any like Beast Pirates aesthetics to his outfit. So yeah, I kind of get the. So yeah, I kind of a good thing. Jack just start rampaging and causing chaos everywhere. If we're being totally honest with ourselves. But anyways, the Mings aren't gonna stand for them rampaging, so they fight back. The gifters and the pleasures and the gifters get taken out pretty easily, as well as the pleasures get taken out very easily. I think the gifters in the anime are shown to be a lot more intimidating by actually taking down some, but the female skaters, Wanda, The other ones are able to beat them relatively quickly and all that stuff. But regardless, against Jack, those guys cannot do shit until Rush and Nakamusha show up. Now, the thing is, since Rush and Nakamusha don't want to fight together, they kind of do the whole spinning day and night thing where they fight him. Or Inuyasha fights him in the mornings, Nakamusha fights him in the nights, and there's also raises a few questions about power scaling here, like if the two teamed up against Jack, would they beat him? Again, kind of questionable since we have no indication that Jack went into his hybrid form. Like, I believe he fought Inuarashi in his mammoth form for the first day, then went into his normal form against Nakamushi during the night. And then I think he just fought them in his base form throughout the entire time until on the 10th day or something when it's clear that, like, in a war of nutrition, the Beast Spice were not going to last. He decided, alright, let's forget about honorable fights and start throwing poisonous gas everywhere. So they just poisoned everyone, beat everyone, and then they were just being, kind of, hung up for their not obeying Jack's orders. And we then have Jack also calling Nakamushi's arm and Inuyashi's leg and all that stuff. But then, unfortunately for Jack, before they could, find Riser, because there was no one in the way, and the means they were not strung up on the crosses and all that, were, just running around secretly feeding Riser, even though they were all damaged and that. But unfortunately, Jack was informed of what happened to a Doflamingo, and he bolted. And well, he didn't bolt. He decided to go there and free him because Doflamingo is very beneficial to them. Unfortunately to Jack, the ship that contained Doflamingo had Fujitora, Tsuro, Sengoku, all involved the same, and Jack was the only All-Star, and let's be honest to ourselves, commanders, even first-rank commanders generally cannot defeat admirals. Like, I think that's an unspoken agreement about everyone. Like, no commander can beat an admiral kind of deals. It's like, there's no debate kind of situation there. I think it's pretty well shown and established at this point. I mean, even though a lot of commanders... no, even in the anime, commanders usually when they fight admirals and are no diff by admirals are usually already weakened, and it's usually already on the back foot as it becomes. It's like not a fair, balanced fight. But yeah, Jack fails, obviously, but luckily he's able to survive. I'm honestly not surprised that he survived, but I'm more wondering how he got defeated. The fact that he was like beaten and bandaged all over, but didn't sink to the floor or something like that. Because we see him all recovering, and a ship having Jinro and totally him in a ship's chamber. So I question that, but regardless, I guess maybe the ship itself, maybe the ship got moved away far enough for them to like damage, but not like, but still able to function. So they was like, when Jack was defeated, they were able to he was able to be sent back, and then they just meet up with the rest of the Beast Pirates, and they got information there. Now, unfortunately for the heroes, Jack kinda isn't the type of guy to just laze around, especially what we find about Zoans and Wano. So as soon as he regains control and everything, or regains strength, he busts his ship's head for abandoning Zoe, and he's like, we'll go back and take Zoe again. And this time he plans also to I guess sing Zunisha by bombarding it. But luckily, the voice of all things, something that's gonna be explained later, happens with Zunisha, and Zunisha is able to fight back, and with the giant trunk, is able to like send Jack and as the Beast Pirates ships is able to away, and Jack again falls into the ocean. This time he's sunk, but because he's a fishman, he survived. Other members probably died. So yeah, and then we have Jack, like the ending of Zoe, I believe, has Jack just like on the floor, bottom of the floor, living, be like, don't think you have seen the last of me, and because he's a fisherman, he's just he's terrible, but they can fish him out. So yeah, Jack just dies there for I'm guessing majority of Whole Cake Island there, though he gets somehow freed by someone. I'm not entirely certain how they found him, how they managed to like pull him in because of how massive he is. Like I think he's like amongst the Ulsters, I think he's the biggest guy there. So yeah, I mean even without that form, I think he's pretty big, all things considered. But yeah, he gets pulled back for one arc, and then we have him there. We first have him in the Act 1, but he's kind of relevant there, as he's the one who gets called back to deal with the situation that Luffy causes chaos, going against Senj, not Senjamaru, what's his name? So, that one of the red scabbards, the Ashura Doji, I think. I don't know, the guy with the pink, the big fat guy with pink hair. He goes against him, and it's kind of like one of those you have to give him a badass introduction, or something, so he's able to cut Jack really quickly. Has like this cool line, "Oh, I'm not getting beaten down by one of Kaido's subordinates," kind of deals, and all, but it's not really a conclusion. It's like basically a cool fight chapter, but for the guy, but then as soon as drunk Kaido shows up at that point, Jack is more focused on Kaido, like, oh man, don't cause chaos and all that type of stuff. But luckily, Bezos Hawkins shows up to redirect Kaido into a bigger issue. And after Hawkins directs Kaido to a different area, Jack Sky pulls Bezos to the side, like, is that true what you told Kaido about the Shy Luffy and all those being over there? As Bezos says, "Oh no, I joke, I lied. I just know that the chances are they're there. And second, if there are some rumors about starting that they are back, so that squashes two. This could squash two birds with one stone. And then after that, Jack kind of just like listen. Like, he doesn't like it, but it's the best option. Luckily for him, he does turn up successful. Then he goes back to Onigashima, where King and Queen again chastise Jack for being a failure, and that's like I think the last time we see Jack in Wano with relevance. I think we see him reacting to Big Mom being back, as he's like, we're like, Big Bro King, why'd you bring her here? But that's really nothing. Then we get to Wano, to the raid on Onigashima, where he's again, he's kind of like more in the background, where we have the meeting with the Toby Roppo and Kaido, but he just kind of stands there and tell Kaido is like, "Oh, do you guys have any issues with the reward for being my stupid son, by being the chance to challenge one of you two to a fight?" But neither King and Jack are really worried about, like, yeah, they can challenge me, I will take them down. Which, aside from old Jack, believe it. But yeah, then we have the announcement that Kaido has, where he's just kind of standing there, not really doing much, until like Kaido and the Red Scouts and everyone goes to a rooftop. But then that's where Jack kind of runs around, collects members of the Beast Pirates as well as one of the numbers, and they go to support Kaido on the buff, and they deal with the Sulong Ming tribe. I'm assuming Jack was the one who actually did majority of the damage on them. But though he gets inevitably beaten by Sulong, Inuarashi, and Akamushi. And then we have, and then he, I guess, either walks down to the doctors in the Beast Pirates, or he's being carried down to the Beast Pirates. Regardless, he gets carried away until I think the next time we see him is when we find out where the Red Scabbards are, where the Beast Pirates find out where the Red Scabbards are, and that's where he's like running towards them, and it tells Black Maria, no, the Red Scabbards are not gonna, wounded or not, they're not gonna be taken down by me and Toby Ropo. You just stay there and do whatever you're doing. I'll deal with that myself. As then Jack confronts the Red Scabbards, but but we didn't have Inuarashi stepping up to, so the other Scabbards can do other stuff, so we can kind of have them split, and we kind of give some of their own fights, like Rise against Fukurokuju, Then Jiro, I think, goes with is gonna go look for Kurosaki or Himura, but the correct actual name is. Well, he goes after her, and Koetsu just goes into the what just goes help general help and Kinemon and Okiko. I think actually I can't remember where Okiko and Kinemon go. Like I know where they end up in the story, but I guess they go up against Kai. I guess they go it's round two against Kyler. I guess. But regardless, Inuarashi versus Jack, and then we have like this kind of cool scene where Jack's like, "Oh, there's no moon here for your Sulong. I guess this will not be much of an issue." But then Inuarashi just says, "Oh, funny, I don't smell any poisonous gas," which I get is supposed to be a cool line, but like Inuarashi doesn't know the reason why Jack used poison gas is because again, like, he was doing it changing each other for days and were, you guys were resting while the other forces from the Beast Brothers were not resting. That and also again, I don't know if Jack went hyper. Like I kind of get the impression that at least during Wano, Jack, even if he went hybrid against Inuarashi and Akamushi, he wouldn't have been able to win. But again, it's kind of like a 50-50 still because it's ambiguous. Like Jack is able to beat down Inuarashi to a death's door in his hybrid form, but says, if you had like one good hit, you could have won, like one of those things where they build. We all know where this is gonna go. Where Jack says in his hybrid form, which is kind of similar to Black Maria, which I kind of get the impression the reason why Odo went with this design is because I believe during that time, one of the questionnaires asked Oda why is Black Maria's hybrid form so different from the other hybrid forms, and that's why I'm kind of getting the impression that Oda was also like, oh yeah, I guess I do have more of a what looks to be aesthetic when it comes to hybrid forms. I guess I'll just have to fix it with Jack because I never actually shown Jack's hybrid form yet. Which is kind of sucks, like his hybrid form is kind of just like left there. Like, honestly, I don't even think honestly, the first time I saw it, it didn't probably even click with me that he wasn't hybrid. Like I don't know why. I just kind of get the impression you could kind of miss it if you didn't pay attention to it. Like I think granted, I did believe I read it when I was doing some other stuff, but it was one of those like I have 50 minutes or 5 minutes of a break. I will check the newest chapter One Piece kind of situation, but still, we don't have Jack realizing any. Regardless, we have Jack saying this, as then I believe Kaido and Luffy have a clash at that exact time as he's gonna go for the finishing blow, and that clears the weather. As then the moon is brightly shining, and then we have Inuarashi getting the Sulong form and like Jack said, one more attack will finish him off, and she got the power boost to finish Jack off, and he defeats Jack using Sulong, which kind of takes away, honestly, from this fight, because basically Jack was right. You could only beat him in a Sulong form, essentially, because you didn't beat him before that. Also, it kind of feels ridiculous the fact that Jack gets beaten by intentionally because Kaido spurred the claw or something. Like, I mean, I know Oda probably was being overly ambitious with how much he could include in this arc. Maybe he was just like, oh shit, I need Jack to be taken down already. I need to do something, and I guess he was just like, I know, I know, the moon gets split. So Inuarashi can go, Sulong can beat Jack. Like, kind of underwhelming. Not even give him a full fight. Like, I get the reason why Jack doesn't fight Jinbei because you kind of want because Oda wants to submit the monster trio. So he probably was like, Jinbei fights who's not an all star. While there is an all star there, but Jinbei doesn't fight him. So someone else has to take down Jack to like cement. It's kind of like Frankie, who was shown to be really powerful in Water 7, but then he was kind of like, he's not as powerful as Frank as Zoe and Sanji, but still kind of disappointed. Like, I really wish we could have got at least a full chapter 5, because I don't even think it's like one of those, at least that we focus on that thing. It's like literally just we cut to it. We have Jack beating commencing the battle against Inuarashi. We didn't have Jack. We didn't have Jack. Maybe we see a few panels for that fight, but not much. And then we are at the end of the fight where it's being shared by Perospero and Nekamusha, which again, those two are a bit more of a duo, but Jack and Perospero aren't a duo, if you get my drift. Like, they don't even see each other in that entire fucking conflict. At least Perospero and Queen are in the same fucking room. They are, and King kicked the big vampires down, but Jack, I don't think even has no real reason for it. But yeah, but yeah, anyways, Jack gets beaten by that. And again, context again, because Jack was already defeated by Sulong Strive, I kinda don't really get what was the point of him again getting defeated by Sulong Inuarashi. Like, is this like extra because of the limbs or something? I don't know. Like that entire the resolution for Jack and Power in Wano is like, I would say, one of the worst parts about Wano. How it kind of just feels like we just kind of need that to happen. But yeah, and now as for the future for Jack's story, like I said, I could see maybe that familiar aspect about Yamato, Page One, Ulti, and Jack might kind of come back into play. Like maybe they become their own group. I could see Jack, Ulti, and Page One kind of starting their own thing. Like, I wouldn't mind. Like, I could totally see this happening, and we might actually find out soon. Because I believe in the spoilers for the newest chapter of One Piece, we are coming back to Wano, Nikuni again. I'm not entirely certain what we're gonna be getting there because the skull we start with the first pages. I believe the Onigashima sinking on the water because I guess someone threw it. Like maybe we're gonna see it. Like maybe they forced the beast pirates who were in prison to pull the thing back. Maybe Momonosuke carried away. Maybe he was like using it for training. Maybe one of those things. I don't know. We'll see. Although we could focus on other things. Like I think it's like one of those very ambiguous, like just one or Kuni thing. Like it's not very clear what focus on beast part. So maybe we're gonna get like random shots of what happens in Monokuni, and we could probably see maybe we'll see like a prisoner gallows as we see Jack and all the other top to see what happened. And again, most of them were just defeated, and then there was no information. Like King and Queen didn't even seem to have been like sent to Udon as prisoners. They just seemed to have regained consciousness and then went to Udon because that was where their base was and find out what the fuck happened to their soldiers and that. So yeah, it's kind of like one of those. I could see him, but I feel like we will see him in a couple of in a couple of chapters. But again, it's a couple, so I can't say for certain. Like if the title was at least Kaido's family melee or something, I would at least expect it. But now I'm kind of like it's a 50-50 shot. So yeah. Anyways, then we go to the design for Jack, and Jack has a very basic design as a beast. But like, I think this was meant to. I think Jack and his crew were kind of were a lot more. How to say it's like a lot more contained their outfits. Like they had more like, all right, Viking helmets with horns, furry coats, showing your muscle kind of situation. Maybe a few like the jackets that kind of just you put on your shoulder, but don't really, but show most of your chest with some pants. Like he didn't have much of he didn't have like it's one of those. It's simple but effective design. It's like a good kind of figurehead for the Beast Pirates in a way. Like he kind of embodies the most out of all of them. Maybe like it's a first introduction situation. Like he definitely looks like a Beast Pirate if you'd shown anyone Beast Pirates. Like you could tell. He doesn't. He also has the fact that he's like a giant belt with a Beast Pirates on, and yeah. Now as for Jack's flying style, because he doesn't have hockey, and because I'm pretty sure that he it wasn't long since he got his devil fruit. At least I'm assuming the age correctly. He kind of just has a very simplistic thing. He has like these sickle shaped weapons, and I think his short form actually did have like a normal sickles in his arm. Well, as we've seen him, but he has kind of these like sickles that are kind of like also part of his outfit, where are kind of tusk. Like he has like two tusks, and he pulls them out from his outfit, and he like unsheaths them, and he reveals those sickles, and he fights with them. But he seems to like just use like a more brute force, general fighting style. It's kind of like he's not really a proper swordsman type of deal. He doesn't do something unique with it. Like he has no interesting gimmicks to it. And his mammoth form is a guy like more of a brute force fire. Like he just charges at stuff, uses trunk, and the same thing is. And his hybrid form again is just him on the legs of of the mammoth and with the trunks. I'm assuming he just does this, but with a like smaller reach. I'm guessing kind of. I mean, Jack is already a really big guy on his own, so you probably could argue how big. So you could probably say he's a lot bigger and that he's a lot bigger and stuff. But yeah, that's about it for its fighting style. I'm assuming that if he had known, I don't know what really his interesting gimmick is because we do find some interesting gimmicks for some of the from some of the Zoans. I feel like his interesting gimmick would probably have been something like maybe he can use his elephant nose as like a cannon or something, similar to how Babanuki uses it. And maybe that's also the reason why he didn't get like an interesting gimmick because Babanuki had like a elephant at his chest that used to fire cannonballs. So maybe the actual mammoth had like a similar thing, but it would kind of be like too similar to those two. I think Babanuki also has like a lot of similar kind of design aesthetics, being a big guy with horns and kind of looking like what you imagine Beast Pirates being. So maybe that's also why Oda didn't want to give much attention to Jack in doing the raid because he already introduced another character who could kind of resemble Jack, like Diet Jack, if we're being totally honest to ourselves. So maybe he didn't want to give more on a very like similar character he had for quite a few chapters. So maybe that's the case. But regardless, that's the end. But regardless, that's the kind of the end for Jack. Like I said, I do want to see him more. I do feel like he could participate. I think between the contrast between him being this brute force character, but when it comes to like more serious situation, he's like a bit more reserved. Like I mean, it's kind of funny. Like when he's at his own going against something, he goes very rash. But then when it comes down to it, he's more tactical. Like he's just wait. Oh, the red scabbards and Carter went up there on their own. There's clearly no backup or anything we need for Kaido. Hmm. Maybe it would be safer just in case if I bring an army, just to make sure those are the only ones kind of situations. But yeah, I like Jack. Hope to see more of him, but that's pretty much it. And the guy doesn't even get a fucking volume cover. Like, I really do have to question the logic of volume covers for manga sometimes. Like, they include villains that barely appear on them or barely are used in all. But then we get like Captain like Jack appears in two arcs and they don't get a volume cover. Like he and Alaska and Galant are those characters I'm really surprised do not have any volume covers for them. And now I'm expecting a bunch of comments saying, "Oh, did you forget volume 76 where you can see Jack in the background colored green as his elephant form or something?" Well, anyways, I hope you liked my first All-Star video, and next one is Queen. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more videos in the future. Tell me in the comments below if there's any villain you want for the Inmates of Hell series. And with that said, I cannot wait to see all of you mortals next time. Goodbye.